Hello everyone and welcome to My Hobby Home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are working on our Saturday sew along. We are going to complete the second row of the Battenburg block. We're going to try to get a little further than that. We may try to get our block all put together. This is a exclusive pattern with Fat Quarter Shop. It does come in their Threads Jolly Bar. Beautiful quilt. You may be able to see it there. It's a little dark. I have to turn it up where you can see it on the lights. But let's get started with it here. I have already gotten the top and bottom rows done, and now I need to get the center rows done. So the center rows are done with I'm going to use my pinks or my lighter colors, and let's see what it is, and then it is put around a square. So let's just get to it, guys. We want to see how much we can get done today on our Battenburg. How I'm going to do this is these are hearts on this fabric. I'm making sure they're faced upwards. So whenever I put fabric on here, I'm just making sure that it is the direction I want. Now, they kind of show doing close to the same fabrics on each side, but I think that's because they're both pink. I did get some suggestions on my machine, on my thread cutter, about if there's a thread or something, and it's a thirsty machine. I had already oiled it, actually, before I started. Oops. And I serviced it again today, and I didn't put my feed dogs down. I always forget to do that. But I went on and oiled it again today and checked the thread cutter. I did not see anything in there. But who knows? It could be something in there that I just can't see. Right now I'm putting these squares upside down because I'm doing the one that is on the left side first. So I'm doing piece 1 and 2 of the row. And being that I want my hearts on that second piece to go up and down, I'm putting it upside down here so I can make sure to do that first piece first. So I know that I want my second piece. It's not necessary that they are the same, but I'm going to try to keep them close. Now this one here, there's absolutely no possible way, because it's hearts. So I'm going to have a bunch of hearts going across here. I don't know why I did not pay attention to that. Probably because I do mine one step at a time when it comes to the fabric. So I have to make sure to turn my hearts the same way. I just do step by step. And for some reason that one is showing just a little bit longer. That's okay. And I think we should be able to get our second rows done and our blocks put together, and maybe start on our sashing today. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Saturday today. It's like I always say, it's always a good day if you can get in the sewing room. because I know it is for me, especially after the week I have had. If I could get in the sewing room, it is a good day. And I still haven't gotten anything done that I wanted to get done. Well, I've got my sewing stuff not where I wanted it to be done, but I've got it close. I am going to go ahead and pre-record way in advance next Saturday sew along, just in case, because as it stands right now, I will be having a scope on my knee. I don't know what that means. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know anything about that. I'm going to talk to people that's had it done and tell me, you know, hey, it's very painful. Okay, yeah, it's something wrong with my thread cutter. I did not see any threads in there. I've cleaned it. I just don't know what's going on with it. I've done everything that it says in the servicing manual to work on that. Now, I will say one day I was cleaning it and a little spring popped out, but the spring that is supposed to be like in there, I've only ever seen one spring and it's there. So I don't know what I might have popped out. We've got that first block put on, so we're going to just keep on going and get to that second one. That means I flip over my pieces that I had set there aside. Because what I kind of did was pair them together so we kind of have like rows. Not that it really matters, because this is designed to be a little different all the way around. But this quilt is coming along real quick. Like, I will be releasing the name of our new July sew along. I'm going to call it our Christmas in July. I will be releasing the name of that quilt in my updates on Monday. So, because as of yet, I have not checked all of my fabrics to make sure I have everything, but I will be doing that this weekend, probably this evening. So I can let y'all know what the new one is. It has been requested that I let y'all know a little in advance, because some people it takes a little bit longer to get all of their fabrics, especially if you have to order fabrics. That is completely understandable. So that is what I'm going to do for y'all. I will release the name of the next pattern. It is a free pattern. Like I said, if I have all of the fabrics, if I don't, I'm probably still going to do this pattern. It does look similar to one that we have already done, but it's bigger than one that we have done. It is not like the same exact block or anything. It is a little bit different, but it is layer cake friendly. I actually think it uses 2 charm packs. So that is what I am probably going to do, is do 2 charm packs. I mean, cut it into 2 charm packs. So if I wanted to enlarge it, there's a possibility I can make 4 charm packs out of the layer cake, and then I don't know that I would do that, but the possibility of enlarging the quilt is there. Okay, so I have my center rows done. I am going to press them out, and we will be right back, and we will start assembling all the rows together at that time. Okay, guys. Looks like I've got hearts, hearts, hearts there, and then it stops. I've gotten all of our center rows done. This is when me having that design wall would be great, but I don't. So our next step is we are going to put our Battenburg blocks together. I'm taking my first and last rows off that hanger, and we are just going to sew them together. So we just have to see which way goes best. Right now, this one is looking good. No rhyme or reason, I'm just putting it together, guys. So we do have seams that are going to nest. So we are definitely going to pin those seams on those 9 patches that we have, because we want those seams to, you know, just flow right into one another. We want those lines to be nice and straight. I can imagine on something like this, it would be very noticeable if it's not. So we have our first block with a first and second row. So now we are pulling our second block here. So now we are starting our second block here. Alrighty, this is going just pretty quick like. So what we are doing is just keep on and going, keep on pinning. Now when I do this, if I have the heart, I'm having to make sure my hearts are turned the right direction. The hearts are always going to be the longer piece at the moment. Because the center row is was a good bit bigger than, I wonder if that's intentional? It may be. Or I'm either just completely off. Guys, it feels like summer has started here, and I know it hadn't yet. But we are having some very hot weather. We're actually under a heat advisory right now. It was real early this morning, and when I say real early, I mean it was like the sun had just rose. And it was like 88 degrees already. And you know, if it's 88 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning, oh my goodness. What is it going to be once that sun has hit that ground for 12 hours? And right now it's a little after. Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was this late. My husband had to go to town, and I had to tend to some business, but I'd rather not do that alone right now with my knee the way it is. And then I had to go in the office for a little bit and handle do my audits for payroll for Monday, and there was errors. I don't know what they're going to do if I have to have a major surgery. They'd probably bring me a laptop to my house to do payroll. It's probably what would happen. I've already told my boss that if I had to be out for surgery that I would request a work from home. Because there's no way I would be able to get to the office. And I mean, like, if I have to have a knee replacement, not for the scope, because I think for the scope I'll be able to go back to work that following Monday, because they've never told me that I wouldn't. I was thinking I would hear from the surgery, well, from the doctor's office again today, because the surgery center that I was supposed to go to is not going to be able to do it. And, oh well, you know, I mean, I told my husband, I said, I wonder if this is a sign I shouldn't be doing this. But, because I'm terrified of having anything. I'm terrified of being put under. Because the last time I was put under was when I had a bone spur removed off of my right shoulder. And my right shoulder's hurting me again. So I probably got another bone spur in it. And, you know, if that, because it's burning now in the top of my shoulder. But when I had to do that, they gave me a nerve block in my neck. And they told me, now you may feel like you're not able to breathe. Well, that's not a good thing for me because I have asthma. I know what that's like. And they said, but you're breathing. You're getting everything you need. Well, when they got me into the operating room and I moved from one bed to the other, to the operating table, I couldn't breathe and I could feel my chest feel like it was collapsing on me. And I kept telling them I wasn't breathing. I'm not getting oxygen. I'm not getting oxygen. Oh, yeah, you are. You. I said, I'm not getting oxygen. I said, just put the thing on my finger. I wasn't getting oxygen. So that's the thing I hate, is they don't listen to you when you're doing that. And my thought is, you should be putting that thing on my finger as soon as you give me that nerve block. Because I may not be a doctor, but I'm a doctor of my body. I've had it for 53 years. I kind of have an idea of what my pain is, where it's at, and what's going on. Just like at the time, that doctor, he told me, oh no, it's a torn rotator cuff. I'm like, it is not a torn rotator cuff. I know it is not a torn rotator cuff. Because I couldn't move my arm. It wasn't that I couldn't move it because it was too painful. I couldn't move it because it literally would not move. It was getting caught. And I just kept telling him, it's not a torn rotator cuff because I can move my arm. It's just certain directions I can't move it. And it hurts really bad when I forget and I try to move it that way. And I mean, it was like your basic, like, forward motion like that. I couldn't do that. And I told him, I said, that it is not a torn rotator cuff. And I just kept telling him, it's not a torn rotator cuff. And he was like, oh, yeah, that's what it is. And I'm like, it's not a torn rotator cuff. He gets in there, it's a bone spur. And he's like one of the, one of the top surgeons for shoulders. But I'm like, just because you've got all those book smarts, you haven't lived in my body. And I can explain my pain way better than anybody else can. And it's almost like they think they're smarter than the person that is in the body. But we not going there right now. Okay, so I have all of these, all of my first and second rows of the Battenburg block sewn together. I am going to go on and cut them apart and press them, and I will be right back. Okay, I have my 4 Battenburg blocks with the first 2 rows. I put these on upside down. I should have flipped them. Did not realize it when I was doing it. So we're just going to leave it how it is and just go with the flow. Maybe I can get these down here on the bottom right. I may have the same exact block for my second block, but if I do, it's okay. So if we get all 4 of our Battenburg blocks done today, we are right on track, I believe, to having this quilt done in the month of June. I may even quilt this one myself. I haven't exactly decided, because I don't know what I would use for my backing, but I'm sure that wouldn't be too hard to find a pretty piece of yardage. I may even have one. I have so much yardage that I should be able to find something. If I have a 4-yard piece, that I know that would do it. I probably don't even need a 4-yard piece, because I'm not quite sure what this finishes at. I haven't reminded myself, because I don't ever remember how big these are supposed to come out. I love sewing them. I love creating things and bringing beautiful patterns to life. So I have not reminded myself the size this is going to be. It's not going to be a very large quilt, so if you want to make it bigger, you can add some yardage, some borders around it if you want to make it bigger. I've thought about doing that, but being that we are on the time crunch that we are on, I may not. Because we are trying to get this done in June, so we can start our Christmas in July. Now, my Christmas in July is not going to be a 4th of July pattern. It is going to be a Christmas pattern. I don't think I want another one with hearts on it. Well, I better do another one with hearts on it, because it'll be okay to do it. Because I will be doing a Christmas quilt. But next Saturday will be our final sew along on the Battenburg. And this quilt here, guys, this is definitely a quilt. Let me grab the pattern and see here. I'm going to grab this pattern here and see what the size of this is. It's a 50.5 by 50.5, so it is on a smaller side. So if you do want to add borders to make it larger, I'm sure that would be perfect. I'm thinking this is probably, I don't know that I have a 4th of July wall hanger, but I really like this, and I think this would be a good wall hanger. I just have to be very careful about what I hang on my walls, because with our seal issue of our home, anything next to the walls could cause it to sweat, and then it ruins whatever is on the wall. And it's only that middle wall of where the two halves of we live in a mobile home. It's just where those two halves come together. It does that. Okay, so that one is done. Now to our third one. I'm just grabbing, and this one has words on it, so I want to make sure the words do go in the right direction. And we are getting very close to that 1 hour mark. I may be able to stay under that 1 hour without the pressing. But I think we're going to be maybe just a little over an hour with the sewing even. But that'll be okay. It's not going to be a big deal, because hey, sewing is sewing, and I like to be in my sewing room. And I think I'm going to start another quilt and just kind of bring y'all along with me. You know, just join me in my sewing room. You know, what am I sewing today? I will tell you what it is, but I will, you know, most of the ones that I have boxed up are paid for patterns. So I won't be able to share, you know, the pattern with you. I could tell you what the pattern is, so that won't be an issue. I could tell you what the pattern is. Okay, my words are going to go upside down on this one, because the words on my little signs there would be upside down if I didn't do it this way. But that's okay. The writing on these blocks is so small that, you know, unless it's, I call them signs on the fabric, the design, the signs are bigger than the little cursive writing strips, so I'm not too worried about that. Guys, my husband and I, when we came in today, I checked my garden. I had a little squash, and I had some little cherry tomatoes, and I got those, and I looked at my potatoes, and I told him, I was like, I need more dirt on my potatoes, because I am trying to grow my potatoes in a kiddie pool. I grew them in grow bags a couple years ago, and they did fabulous. But I was like, I want to try them in a kiddie pool. That's kind of what my garden is. It's an experimental garden. I'm just seeing what works. I did the fingerling potatoes. You know, I'm like, I really like different kinds of potatoes, but I don't think I've ever had the fingerling. And I was watching one of my channels that I really like to watch, and she just throws them on a sheet pan with like other vegetables and butter and garlic and salt and pepper, and just does them like sheet pans. And she cuts them into just little 1-inch chunks. So I was like, well, I bet that'll be easy, but I'm wondering if I could throw them on my black stone and, you know, just cover them. Because the black stone has a cover that you can throw on it to do things like that. But it's too hot to cook outside right now. And I know most people will say, no, it's too hot to cook inside. No, it's not. I got an air conditioner in my house. It's a lot cooler in my house than it is outside. But a lot of the stuff I can cook in my Ninja Crispy. I have a Ninja Crispy, guys. I got it, and I really want to do some recipes with it for y'all. I love it. I absolutely love it. And the Ninja Crispy is just like an air fryer. It's almost like a portable air fryer. It's fabulous. It has now taken the place of my microwave when I reheat food, like meats or something like that. It takes the place of my microwave because it'll crisp it right back up. Okay, so now I have all 4 of the Battenburg blocks completed. We're still under an hour. So I think what I'm going to do is trim these apart and press them, and hopefully we'll still be under an hour. Okay, friends, it rolled over to 1 hour as I was pressing, but look at these blocks. Oh, that hurts my knee to do that. These are some beautiful blocks. I really do like these. They're large. They're going to be beautiful. I need to hang them back up there. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate each and every one of you coming and joining along on this sew along. We are one more Saturday away from having our Battenburg completed. I do appreciate each and every one of you taking time out of your busy day just to sit down and sew along with me. If you have not yet, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, guys.